Hi, I am Osman. I'm an energy healer on a master level with telepathic capabilities, specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses. Also, amongst a host of other physiological, psychological, and even spiritual ailments, especially um, treating the ill effects of involuntary Kundalini awakening. And I'm also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher, having practiced yoga now for 5 decades, almost 5 decades, and having studied in that period amongst various masters from different schools of yogic thought, and also teaching yoga for 44 years with students in over 100 countries, and spent my lifetime developing uh, newer protocols that combine my knowledge from all the different amazing schools of yogic science to help create a more practical and adapted, easier, combined method for the 21st century, right? And many success stories amongst my students. Please visit my website yogawellness786.com for more information on my services. Also, remember my treatments are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. So, why does breath work become harmful for some people but very beneficial for others? So I was listening to this YouTube channel on Buddha um, at the gas pump. So I'm mentioning this thing. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not getting money for it, but I find it's for those on the spiritual path and spirituality. They gave a amazing array of people that they interview from all schools of specialization, especially in the in the field of mystical and spiritual sciences, right? So they mention in passing that one person must be careful. One person, one of their friends, was practicing breath work for about 30 minutes a day, and he was overdoing, and it really almost destroyed him. He was totally depleted from it. So let me give you they thought that he was over practicing. In a sense, they're saying 30 minutes a day of breath work, that he was over practicing, and you must not practice 30 minutes a day, that it's going to deplete your energies, right? Is what the uh, purpose of that line and the tone of what I read into it, right? From what they were saying. So, firstly, on the advanced yoga and meditation level, level one of advanced breath work protocol is 3 hours a day. No one's forcing you to spend 3 hours a day. You can spend even 5 minutes a day, right? And adapt it according to your time. But if you want to make substantive progress in spirituality, right, into attaining the nirvana state and so forth, you need to do 3 hours a day, level one, right? And if you want to go more serious, you can do more, right? Maybe 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, breath work, right? Depending, which, and you can choose which breath work as well, right? So the person who was spending 30 minutes a day and got depleted, right? So there is two reasons, possible reasons for it. Number one, his spirituality was not yet awakened. You need to awaken your spirituality before you go into advanced levels of breathwork practice, right? So starting to practice something for 30 minutes a day is now starting on an advanced level, right? So it's like you don't just go to level one, you start slowly, start with 30 minutes, then do 1 hour, then do 2 hours a day, and then do 3 hours a day. You can't just do upfront 3 hours a day, right? So 30 minutes should be easy, right? Not difficult. And my student normally start about 10, 15 minutes a day, right? The protocol, and he develops to 30 minutes, right? And then that is, now you've reached level one. If you can do 30 minutes, then you slowly start scaling that up to 3 hours a day, right? So why are they feeling depleted of energy? And so not spiritually awakened means there's so much of blockages in his chakras, and he's now trying to take a teaspoon and empty the ocean. You need someone to come and unblock like someone who's advanced in yoga and meditation, who can unblock the pathway. According theoretically, it needs 10 million years to unblock all the um, blockages in all your nadis. So it's going by generation by generation by generation. Each generation ahead is more advanced and less blocked than the previous generation, where now, as you're becoming more and more unblocked, your higher capacities of your intellect is developing, starts developing. And that's why now we are technologically and intellectually more advanced than 25 years ago, or more advanced than 50 years ago. And the people from 50 years more advanced than 100 years ago, right? It's progressing, forward naturally, right? It's developing, but pranayama practice is seeking to do it in your lifetime, right? Not waiting. So according to one of my teachers who was master of pranayama, right? And he says that there is 10 million years of blockages in you that you need to remove. And pranayama like fast forwards it. So someone needs to clear the pathway for you, that when you are doing the clearing of so much, right? Because the teacher can't clear 10 million, right? For you. You have to do it. But clear the pathway so that it's a smooth experience and not a negative. So end of it, you're going to feel energized when you are ready, right? If you're activated and taught the correct, you'll feel energized, and it'll become easier and easier, with time. And then you can go longer and longer and longer, to higher and higher levels. So the second thing that you could be depleted is the blockages are so heavy that, because when you're removing it, it's like things from your subconscious mind. The emotions come out. It releases through the emotions, and it can be very draining to release all that pent up, emotions that was there from a very long time ago, not only in your conscious memory, but also in your genetic memory and your evolutionary memory. Because in the yogic sciences, you also have evolutionary memory in you, right? That you remember to be, you are an evolved human, right? So suddenly you can eat, a bird food. You're not going to change to a bird. You still remain a human, right? Because you got evolutionary memory to remember that you're human, right? And also genetic memory, right? The fears of your culture and so forth will be inherent in you. So you get differences in people depending on the cultures that came from. But yoga seeks to cleanse that out and clean it out, so you become non-cultural. You become equally cultural to every culture. You can speak on the level, like I've got friends, amazing friends from all cultures, and I don't see them as, you know uh, they are, of this language or this culture and that culture. I see them as a person, as an individual, and they've got, their preferences, and they are choosing from the cultural influences, and they don't necessarily have to choose it. They can change. You got free choice, right? But the influence is so embedded, in your subconscious mind as well, right? So this person having the difficulty in that pranayama is releasing these things. It's very tiring as well if you're doing it, and he's probably was obviously doing correctly, and he stopped the practice he was doing. So instead of stopping the practice, it's a bit heavy for you to manage. Take a lower gear, cut it down to 15 minutes a day or 5 minutes a day, and as it becomes easier, then grow on it again, you know, higher and higher and higher, or seek someone who's advanced, right? So of course I'm giving this information. This is easy. You don't have to go to anyone. If it's tiring 30 minutes, then do 15 minutes a day, and slowly, as as it's getting unblocked, it may take months, weeks, or days, right? Depending on how much blockage is there. Then you'll feel it's easier, then go a little bit more. You found now this is too easy, this little bit higher difficulty level, right? Not where you're getting totally depleted, right? Something that you can manage. You must go into difficulty, little but manageable difficulty, in order to progress, right? It must not just, if it become too easy, make it a little bit more difficult, right? When you're pushing, weights, and you're pushing, 100 pounds, right? And now 100 was very difficult, right? Then it now becoming easier, progressively increase the weight or the resistance, right? And you push more and more and more, and then your muscles get bigger and it becomes easy, and you put more, you know it's progressive, escalation of the weights, right? So like that with the breath work, progressively escalate. So this is an amazing science. Learn from someone who understands it well, right? And I understand, breath work, the few protocols that I specialized in, and I understand it and I stick to it. And whoever I taught it has had massive success. It is the pivot. The breathwork is the main pivot that can fast forward your progress in meditation by 100-fold, 1,000-fold. Right? So it is an amazing thing. Don't When there's some negative feeling, don't just stop someone from it. Find out from masters in the field, and don't, because I felt so sad that the person quit that practice. He left something that's more valuable than any amount of gold in the world. That's how amazing it is. So I hope that information helps you. Take care always.